Come for the bread, stay for the politics. I'm Ben Walsh, and this is Let Them Eat Bread. So before we get started on this week's bread recipe, you might notice that there are no potatoes on this table. Unfortunately, although we were supposed to make potato rolls this week, my potatoes went bad. So I have another recipe for you, an excellent recipe featuring avocado. This will be a vegan avocado recipe. Now, I did not have vegan butter. I didn't have margarine, so I'm actually substituting with spreadable butter. But if you want to use vegan butter, you can make this entirely vegan. For me, it is the only ingredient in the whole plate here that is actually not vegan. Everything else is going to follow the vegan standard. Also, one more note, I'm going to be making a double loaf, so just pay attention not to the amounts that you see me putting in the standing mixer, but more to what I say when I am narrating the video in a second. All right, guys, let's get started.
Hey everyone, we are starting with 1/3 of a cup of milk plus 2 tablespoons. I'm using almond milk that's warmed. After that, we are putting in our yeast, just 1 packet of yeast, 2 teaspoons and a quarter. Next up, we are going to just wait for that to bloom a little bit. Just watch me dance awkwardly for this little moment. I'm pretending I didn't know I was recorded, but I definitely knew that I was being recorded. Not a problem there at all. Next up, we are going to need to, nope, Ben, there you go. Put the sugar in. After that, we'll go our salt. For the sugar, we're going to have 2 tablespoons. For the salt, we're going to have half a teaspoon. After that, we are going to put in our avocado. We have 2 whole avocados, or about a cup of avocado. You want to keep it nice and green, so make sure to put some lemon juice on there to keep it nice. Next, we are putting in 1 cup of flour to get it started, and we're going to just mix that a little bit with our standing mixer. While we wait for that, we are going to just kind of watch as it goes round and round and makes a nice green dough. However, once we get through that, we are going to put in the rest of our flour. So there you go, it's a nice green dough. We're going to put in the rest of our flour now, and I spilled it all over the floor. Okay, well, that's embarrassing. All right, we're just going to get this going a little bit just until we have it consistent, and then I will speed up the standing mixer as we go forward. And unfortunately, there was an issue with the standing mixer, so I'm kneading it by hand. So we're just going through these last few bits and kneading to make sure it's perfect. And let's see, window pane test, and we are good. So we are going to take our butter now and put it in the middle. We have 2 tablespoons of vegan butter, and we're just going to move that in. I'm using spreadable butter, but everything else is vegan.
All right, so now our bread is ready to rise. We're going to take the residual butter or margarine, if you're using it, from our container to lubricate our bowl. Then we're going to put some plastic wrap on it and a towel. Set a timer for 1 hour, up to an hour and a half if you're in a cold kitchen right now. And then we're going to talk some politics. So let's get our bread ready to rise.
And I'm just using my fingers here to spread the remainder of our butter into our bowl here. Just a quick bit around will be great.
All right, now we're going to take our bread, put it in here, give it a quick toss in the butter. Mind you, we've just added a ton of butter to our bread, so it likely won't need it. But now we're just going to throw a quick wrap on it and set our timers. I'll be right back.
So I'm using plastic wrap, but you don't have to. If you have a more sustainable option, I highly encourage you to use that. Or if you have a lid, but just make sure the lid is not totally secure or it'll pop off during the rising.
And now we're going to cover with our tea towel and set a timer for 1 hour. We'll get to politics in just a moment. If you're leaving us for the hour, I will see you in an hour to tell you how to finish our bread. See you soon.
And we're back, everyone, and look how much it's grown. That's incredible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to divide our dough in 2 by weight. So once we've punched it down and roll it back into a ball, we are going to give it a quick turn so we can get it back into a good shape where we can put it on our scale. Once we're here, we're going to weigh it and divide it exactly in half. We're going to divide those halves into 4 pieces and roll each of those into a ball. This will allow our brioche to have that nice kind of bubbly shape. So let's see, and look at that. I'm a champion. Not bragging or anything, but I did divide it perfectly in half. Not the second time. Well, either way, essentially, you're going to go through here and just like I'm doing, make sure that you have 8 little balls if you're doing the double recipe like me, or 4 little balls if you're doing just the one recipe that I've been instructing the entire time. Once you have them, you're going to roll them into nice, neat balls, and you're going to put 4 of them in your bread tin. Once you do that, you're going to want to leave them to rise for another hour. Once they have risen, you're going to want to set your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and those are going to cook for 30 minutes. But before you put them in the oven, make sure that you give them a little paint with a spoon or even your fingers of some olive oil and some salt. That'll be a really nice topping and it will give them a nice golden color. Remember, because this is vegan, we can't use our egg whites. We can't use egg whites like we normally would to create this beautiful golden brown color. So instead, we'll be relying on the olive oil and the salt to kind of give us that nice, beautiful texture. And as you can see from the image that I've uploaded for this episode, we actually did really get that perfect episode there. Now, you can see the bread is a little tight here, but that's okay. Just kind of force those balls in together. They'll grow. Keep them growing and rising until they get all the way to the top of the container. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you next week. Bye now.